Well, good afternoon. Welcome into Sky Sport and Sky Sport Next coverage of Auckland United against Northern Rovers at Kickoff Park in Auckland as the second match in our double header this afternoon. Already we've seen near neighbours across town, Western Springs, with a 6-1 win, putting them on top of the National Women's League table, a 6-1 win over Southern United. But there's confirmation of that result in the games played yesterday. Suburbs 4-1 over Capital, and Canterbury United, the Pride, 3-0 over Central Football. So no draws, wins in every game. Will we see a win to one of these two teams this afternoon? Two teams that will fancy their chances going into this competition and carry pretty good form from their Northern League campaigns. Andrew Dewhurst are with you, alongside Harry Nata for this one, as we prepare to introduce you to the two lineups here, two lineups that will know each other very well. And the northern side will line up with a 4-3-3 combination, with Durham sitting at the base of that midfield trio, with Cook, Wasi and Foster up front for coach Ben Bates. And they will be up against an Auckland United lineup. But as I say, there'll be individual matchups right across the park, and we're told, at least on paper, that they will line up in an identical 4-3-3 formation. I say identical. They have Nathan sitting the higher of the three midfield players in support of Barnard, Clegg and Johnson, with the other of the two Barnards in goal. So just about ready to see these two teams make their arrival onto Kickoff Park. And Harry Nata, this will bring a lot of intrigue. Two teams that know each other well to start their National League campaigns.
Absolutely, Andrew. Look, there's a rematch of the Kate Shepherd Cup final last week, isn't it? So looking forward to how these two, both teams sort of have a similar squad. Players are, as you said, very used to each other. Two big clubs here in Auckland. So looking forward to a really hard battle this afternoon. We talked about quality, didn't we? I mean, you look at the goals that were scored already in this first round of the competition, and you're wanting to get your best players playing against each other on a regular basis. So these two, I think Auckland finished fourth in the Northern region, sort of in their regular season. Northern Rovers finished on top. So, but both of them, both sets of players know each other very, very well.
And in that Kate Shepherd Cup final, it was Auckland United 1-0 winners, beating Northern Rovers. Arguably a bit of an upset in that final, but interesting, Martin Pukitapu not playing the goal scorer from that final, so not involved this afternoon. So, but they will have identified this clash, I'm sure, as a critical one in terms of their championship aspirations.
It's been a beautiful day here in Auckland too, Andrew. A fantastic spectacle, and what a way to start this round of the competition. Auckland bathed in sunshine this afternoon, so I'm sure the pitch looks like it's in top condition. Both sets of players ready for a great standard, high standard of football this afternoon.
And the officials will organise the moments of silence at the start of the fixtures this weekend, as we too will observe that with you at home. So just the final formalities now as the captains come to chat with the officials. So the final huddle for the two teams, just to perhaps relay those instructions from their respective coaches. Beautiful setting here at Kickoff Park. It's a much changed facility over the years, but hasn't changed in terms of how spectacular it can be on a lovely Sunday afternoon such as this, with the Akarana Golf Course close by. Of course, the Auckland United club, a relatively new identity. Harry, I'm sure you played a few matches here, perhaps during your career, or perhaps not. I'm
maybe
not
earlier
sure,
on in North Shore Mount Wellington days. Yeah, very much so. Played here at Kickoff Park a few times actually.
Certainly a club that's making great progress, aren't they? As an amalgamated club, as a broader entity, they're doing so many good things with their junior programs, and they're offering a pathway to the top level with both their men's and women's programs, and they really do have a wonderful facility. Here we go. So, the second of our two matches today, Auckland United and Northern Rovers. You would imagine these two teams, there may not be so much of a settling in time, that they know each other that well, and they'll know exactly what to expect from individual players, let alone the team that they're up against. So it could well be, just put the foot down as quickly as you can. Let's expose weaknesses we think we know about, and let's look to go to our own strengths as often as we can. First involvement there for Ellen Blount in goal. Ellen Blount in goal for Northern.
Yeah, interesting start as you talked about in the lineups there, Andrew, when, with Breeze Durham, number 13, sitting as a holding midfield. We've got on the other side, you go to Auckland, just playing with 2 6s, Bloomfield and Sophie Williams. So slightly different sort of setups in the middle of the park, but I'm sure a fantastic tussle awaits this afternoon.
And this one, they're trying to allow it to go over the goal line. It eventually does. It was all slow motion stuff there for a moment. So Chelsea Elliott was just willing that one over the goal line. And indeed, eventually, it headed that way. A little pressure being applied here on Blount. And just a wayward hand making contact with the football there from Ruby Nathan. Just saved the blushes of the Northern Rovers keeper. That wasn't the best of clearances.
It looks like Auckland are going to start with playing a high press early on in the game here, already putting pressure on Chelsea Elliott and Greer McIntosh at the back, particularly in the middle of central defence there for Northern Rovers.
Great chance here for Emma Leeming to get into an advanced position, the left fullback, but can't quite keep it in play. Long throw over the halfway line. Auckland United to scramble possession back again though. And we'll just repeat the dose. A throw in from pretty much the same spot here for Talisha Green, skipper of this Northern Rovers team. Switch of play attempted, but not affected. Bloomfield unable to collect the pass. And that one taking a deflection. So this a Northern Rovers throw, this time left wing side. And in a more advanced position. But in fact so advanced that the left winger there, I think that was Alexis Cook, knew that she would have been offside had she chased that. So no real pattern or shape to the game so far. No one stringing passes together. That's heavy contact, isn't it? Oh, that's a willing challenge and really brave here by Ellen Blount. And she has taken some pretty heavy contact. I don't think there's any malice in this, Harry. It's a 50-50 challenge. Two players going for the ball. You can argue that a keeper has more rights there perhaps than an outfield player, but Amy Barnard was just totally committed on winning the ball there, and thankfully Blount is okay.
It always looks a bit unfortunate when the keeper, the keeper's going in to dive on the ball, and the attacker on that case, it was Barnard sliding in with her legs, so
it always looks unfair, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But fortunately, the Blount is all okay.
Free kick here for Jess Philpott, skipper of Auckland United. And if anything, whether it's the conditions are playing a part, perhaps with the breeze favouring Auckland United in this first half, they've just had the better of the territorial battle in the opening 5 minutes, and they force a first corner of the match. It'll be taken by Sophie Williams. Taken short, and Northern a little bit asleep, but now they pounce. If Rovers were asleep, Auckland United dozed off in taking the corner. They really didn't make them pay. Rovers now a chance to come away with possession. Suya Herring over the halfway line, finds a teammate. Perhaps a little space down this right wing side now. Early chance on goal, chance to open the scoring. Really put it too close to the keeper, did Canham. And it's a good save made by Jessie Barnard, but perhaps Canham should have done better. That's a great one-on-one opportunity.
Yeah, good chance here for Rovers. They worked the ball well coming in from the left-hand side. Canham with an acre of space, perhaps could have taken the ball on a little bit further.
Just in the end played it right down that central channel that was of course occupied by Jessie Barnard, and tried to cover as much of the goal as she could, but what an opportunity that was on the counter attack there for Rovers. These two teams, of course, there were plenty of chances in that Kate Shepherd Cup final, Harry. There were plenty of great saves by the keepers, there were missed opportunities, the posts and crossbar involved, and in the end it was just the one goal, and it could easily have been 4-4, so be ready for goals this afternoon between these two teams.
Yeah, let's hope. They've seen a lot of goals so far in the first round, Andrew, so let's hope for a couple of goals, or 2 or 3 at least, this afternoon between these two sides, both capable of scoring from midfield, from up front.
I'll tell you what, the challengers are already flying in thick and fast as well. As Herring down the left wing side. Opportunity for the cross to come in, and Barnard under some pressure, and that's just gone wide. Well, Barnard dropping that cross. It was all perfectly legal. There was no whistle on the play. And desperately trying to turn it in was Canham, who's had 2 great opportunities, and this is one she created really all on her own. Yeah,
well, a tight angle too from Canham. She did well to get across the line of Barnard. Just unfortunate she couldn't steer that one onto target.
Getting back in cover now defensively was Elliott. It's end-to-end stuff, isn't it? So really opening up. There's not a lot of football being played in midfield. It's very much the two attacking thirds that are taking a bit of a pounding here at Kickoff Park. Mania Elliott will take the throw. Looking for the run of Amy Barnard. And you've got to be that much more accurate with your timing when making a challenge in your own penalty area. But Rovers were up to the task. Space here for United. Chance to put a cross in. That was cut out, but a lot of space afforded there to Millie Clegg. Leeming trying to bring that down, asking for the decision to go her way, and the officials oblige. Approaching the 10-minute mark in this final match of round one action in the National Women's League for season 2022. Lovely
Nice
ball played through here, inviting the run of Cook. Leeming doing the defensive work, and Cook was put under pressure. Leeming, great fullback play. Was initially on her heels, but showed good pace to put some pressure on Alexis Cook and just worried her out of a good cross.
Yeah, what a delightful ball too from Danielle Cunham out of the middle of the park. She's already had a couple of decent chances too this afternoon. Here she is out the number 8, out of the middle of the park for Rovers.
Free kick goes the way of Rovers here, left wing side. They're looking to play at pace. Estelle Harrison putting the ball on the deck quickly, delivering into the penalty area. You could see why they were matching up pretty well one-on-one. That's a fairly late and agricultural challenge coming in there. Was it Talisha Green on Leeming?
It was
but anyway,
Talisha Green, it was, yes.
It's Leeming who's not surprisingly stayed down. This was some pretty heavy contact. Referee Ashley Wilson comes across. That's a nasty one, isn't it? Just going straight through the player.
Just making a presence felt, wasn't she, Talisha Green?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Has the referee allowed the physio to come onto the pitch here? I'm not sure that he has.
She just winded, I think, from that challenge, potentially.
Somehow, well, the water bottle's got there because Jessie Barnard has brought it out to help, but I'm not sure. Perhaps Emma Leeming said, I'm okay, I don't need the physio. And Ashley Wilson followed the script, but does give Leeming time just to regather. Free kick anyway to be taken by Georgia Martin, and play gets back underway. United go down the line. One for Millie Clegg to chase, and she chases all the way through to Ellen Blount. Last thing she wants is another Auckland United striker charging down on her after that earlier challenge. Leeming looks to have recovered. She'll take the throw. Eventually bringing the ball under control is Olossi Bloomfield. And switch of play. Just asking a little too much. Amy Barnard got there, but only to see the ball deflect off her for a Rovers throw. That's about 10 metres gained. Lucky turn. You ride your luck though, don't you? If you get it, you take it. And that one's bounced up and onto the hand of Georgia Martin. So the free kick goes the way of Rovers. Chelsea Elliott. It's a little surprising that Elliott doesn't get into the area to get on the end of the free kick. She takes it. It does cause a few issues. Not that shot though. Nowhere near enough power on that from Alexis Cook, but at least it is a shot on target. Easily dealt with though by Jessie Barnard. Rovers, we're going to see this match just settle down. Played at a reasonably high clip so far.
Well, it is both teams, yeah. It's pretty even at the moment, isn't it? I think Millie Clegg doing all the running up front for Auckland United, looking to close. Chelsea Elliott and Greer McIntosh giving them very little time on the ball. On the Rovers side, you know, Danielle Cunham running out of the middle of the park. Every chance she gets, she likes to get forward. I see someone's gone down with a...
Yeah, they took a football here straight to
the
the face. I wonder if it's Mania Elliott. Didn't quite catch the number as she was absolutely poleaxed here. I initially thought that Wasi was a little lucky not to give away a free kick. The Northern Rovers number 12 with a physical challenge. We'll see this here, Harry. There was no whistle on that, but oof. Taking the football from about 1.5 meters. So I think it is Elliott.
Is it Chelsea Elliott, I think? Yeah, already a few stoppages in this first, was it 15, 16 minutes?
Yeah, stretching out, isn't it? The match was 2 or 3 minutes late starting. And they're already threatening to go very late into the afternoon here. I don't imagine daylight's a problem here. It's a beautiful afternoon in Auckland. And at this pace, we'll be finished at around 5 p.m. So there won't be any concerns on a day like this with daylight. But certainly we're going to go well beyond the 90-minute mark. Referee gets play underway with the modern drop ball. Good old-fashioned one. Used to be a battle, didn't it, between two players, but that's well and truly gone. Here, though, Auckland United with a shot straight at Ellen Blounce, but this is end-to-end stuff. We just saw Rovers competing and shooting at goal, and then Millie Clegg has a sniff of a chance there and couldn't get it beyond Ellen Blounce.
Yeah, I think any chance that she gets running, you know, off the shoulder of Elliott or McIntosh. Millie Clegg's got certainly got some pace about it. Nose for goal. She obviously provided the assist for, you know, Martine Puketapu's winner last week in the final. So loves to be involved in everything going forward for Auckland United this afternoon.
It was a great pass too, wasn't it? Great assist for the goal. Puketapu not playing in this one today though. Herring comes away with possession and sends it down that left wing side. It looks like it'll stay in play. It does. Philpott across and puts it out of play. Rovers with the throw. Two of the club teams, obviously, in this hybrid National League that does include federation sides. This is a great ball into the area. Maybe Canham should have shot first time. She took a touch and then got a good purchase with the left foot, but straight at the keeper. Harry was the first time shot the option.
Possibly, Andrew. Great run down the left-hand side. Awesome cross, wasn't it? And do you just get your knee and volley that one across? Don't know, but that's the third time Danielle Canham's been in and had a chance on goal for Rovers. Every chance she gets, you know, even 2 or 3 before, she's looking to make runs out of the middle of the park and get herself into the box, into goal-scoring positions.
Free kick here for Rovers. Was Canham involved again? So a chance to send this into the penalty area. And it is Chelsea Elliott. I said I'm surprised. I mean, she's an imposing physical frame, but she's more at home on the set piece rather than receiving it. So she's going to take those free kicks and aim for some other targets. United, certainly this is end to end, isn't it? And it's a little surprising that we haven't in fact had a goal in the opening 19 minutes. Chances to both sides. In particular though, Danielle Canham for Northern Rovers could have had a hat-trick on a different day. Here is Canham again, this time doing some defensive work, helping out her back four. Leeming is all smiles. She wasn't about 7 or 8 minutes ago on the end of a fairly tough challenge, but certainly has recovered and is okay. Rovers play a little head tennis down this right hand side of midfield. Wasi has options in front of her. The ball out on the right wing side now. A chance for Cook into the area. Cook, has she got teammates to aim at? All she found was the keeper. And that was a great opportunity again. And perhaps after it was Auckland United dominating the opening 6 or 7 minutes, it's been Rovers since with the better chances.
Well, that was looking for more of a measured cross from Alexis Cook. He had 3 players in the box coming in, making runs. Just too close for the keeper on that occasion.
Lovely turn. The shot was blocked by Elliott, but it was lovely work initially by Bree Johnson, the number 9. Wasi.
Oh, fantastic. Good touch. Nice play from Wasi, wasn't it? Held the ball up well. Just unfortunate she couldn't link in Alexis Cook.
So certainly 2 teams that they're not shy of playing direct football. They're not completely bypassing midfield, but they're often only taking 1 or 2 passes, 1 or 2 touches to get through midfield. And bringing traditional number 9s, but also wide attacking players into the game. Here now it's the turn of Clegg, allowed to run, and possibly that was a wise choice by Rovers. They just channeled Clegg into a high traffic area and she ran out of options. Rovers again, and offside flag is raised, not in our camera shot, but it was a pretty easy decision, certainly from the angle that we had there. Jess Philpott, the skipper for Auckland United. Rovers certainly, they're really starting to dominate, but they would like a goal to show for this spell of dominance as Herring gets down that left wing side, the fullback, and so far they don't have that goal. And they don't need to be reminded that they were on the wrong end of a 1-0 scoreline just a week ago in the Kate Shepherd Cup finals. So not just the 23 minutes that we've played here, Harry, but it's the 90 from last week as well that it starts to build, doesn't it, if they don't find the back of the net.
It does. But you'd have to say Rovers with, the clear chances in the first sort of 20, 24 minutes. Just seeing they love to break from middle of the park. I think Rovers, Estelle Harrison, they're playing with 1-6, which is Breeze Durham, and then the the two midfielders, Estelle Harrison and Danielle Cunham, making runs out of the middle of the park.
Auckland United now. Bree Johnson forced wide, looking for support, and maybe not. Goes down under the challenge, and no hint of a reaction from referee Ashley Wilson. And there was, however, the hint of a little contact. I don't know that that was that clear cut. Maybe going down too easily, Harry, but did the fullback make some contact?
Yeah, I think the ref got it right.
Sometimes the more you try and sell it, the less likely you are to find a buyer. But Auckland United, we were just describing Rovers as starting to dominate. Now they're having a few good moments themselves. Chance here now. Clegg onto the left foot. Oh, needed to shoot that across goal, Millie Clegg. I think that was her intention. It just splayed off the outside of the left foot there.
Yeah, they've just been a bit careless in possession in the middle of the park, Rovers, and leaving Millie Clegg one-on-one at the back. Can be dangerous. "25 minutes played, still no goals." And a free kick here goes the way of Rovers. And a chance again to perhaps create something. Is Elliott going to take? No, it's going to be left for Sia Herring to take. Slips as she does, and the breeze just holding that up and allowing Estelle Harrison to control that. That's dangerous, but well dealt with by Jessie Barnard. Can't say, though, that she's been the busier of the two keepers, because Ellen Blount has probably had as many touches, and they've been just as crucial. So both keepers playing their part, as they did in that Kate Shepherd Cup final for so long. Williams switching down the left here for Leeming. Rovers asking, has that taken a deflection? It has. Green with the long throw towards halfway, but Georgia Martin was there. Turned over cheaply by Rovers. Chance here now for Clegg again. Oh, Elliott with a crucial challenge. Well, it's heart and mouth stuff when a centre-back hits the deck like that so early, but she got her timing bang on. Well, I think Rovers are actually quite deep from a defensive line. Millie Clegg's had numerous times of getting the ball and running at defence. Another snapshot there, just perhaps a little bit too deep. Northern Rovers at the moment. There's too much space between their defensive line and their midfield.
Towards the near post, scrambled away. What a save that is by Blount. She may well have saved her own blushes there. A keeper never likes to be beaten direct from a corner, but she did enough to keep it out. And it is Green who then flies in to clear that one away. Initially, I wonder if Blount thought the player on the near post had that covered. She got there very late.
She did well, didn't she, though? Blount to keep that one out. We have another stoppage. Is it cramp after 27 minutes? Maybe? No, surely not.
Well, the indication was that was trying to relieve some cramp, but the possibility there that sometimes, Harry, as the ball's gone out for a goal kick here for Rovers, but it was just the overextension, I think, from Green on that challenge that sometimes can bring a little cramp on. But she looks to have stretched it out and be okay. And let's not discount the impact of that cup final last week. I'm sure there is still some effect from that 90 minutes played at North Harbour Stadium in the legs of the players from both these teams. Though I'm sure they'll have done their best to freshen up during the week. But a big cup final can just add that little extra stress. Rovers again advancing through midfield. This time it was Foster. Chance here now. Plenty of space for Cook. Offside though. And a chance for Auckland United to continue here what's been a pretty good spell the last 3 or 4 minutes. They've reacted well. Just putting Rovers under a little pressure as they do again, and it's Rovers who are having to slide in and make last ditch challenges. Bloomfield Leeming with the wayward pass. Fullback on fullback, and it was the Rovers fullback, and again Talisha Green just grabbing perhaps at the right hamstring. We'll keep an eye on that. So we're just half an hour into the match. Bree Johnson, lovely play. Clegg, she shoots from distance. That's a little better. Getting down quickly, but on the rebound, off the post and straight back into the hands of Blount. Well, they really have soaked up the pressure, Auckland United, from Northern Rovers, and they are so close there to opening the scoring.
Yeah, again, sort of just hanging off Millie Clegg. Chelsea Elliott there. What a strike. Hit that to hit the post there. Ruby Nathan.
Well, she was first to react. Clegg it was with the initial shot. Blount got down to make the save, but there was not a Rovers defender in Kui. They did not react quickly at all. But still, goodness me, that cup final last week, it could have been 3-3. And this one in the opening half hour could have had that same scoreline, and yet the 90 minutes then and the half hour now, just one goal. And that's scored by Puketapu to win the cup final. We are yet to trouble the scoreboard attendant here at Keith Hay Park this afternoon. Attacking throw here for Auckland United. They've turned this around incredibly in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
The rhythm has swung, hasn't it? Those opening exchanges fell to Rovers players, particularly out of the middle of the park, and now Auckland have Millie Clegg, couple of chances, strike on goal. Ruby Nathan hitting the post, so Auckland United have certainly gained some ascendancy over the last sort of 10 minutes.
And we just saw there Bloomfield really strong in midfield to win possession, but importantly to then play a simple pass to a teammate. Johnson now. She tries one from a long way out in a tough angle, straight at Ellen Blount. Releasing Green. She plays one down the middle of the park. Wasi can't control. "32 minutes gone." Not the cushioned header that Rovers were looking for there, but they might get away with it. Auckland United now through Johnson. Coming through to win possession though, with a good challenge was Canham. Oh, they were almost away there, Rovers. Auckland United, they were struggling. Just needed one more pass, but the referee's seen a foul and no advantage, so the free kick goes the way of Auckland United. Well, we're beyond the half-hour mark in this game, and I reckon as far as the Football Foundation World Cup lottery, I reckon we're into the last 10 minutes of that one. If you follow my logic, Andrew? I've got a half a dozen. I've got a half a dozen, and because I've got at least a couple of clubs that I wanted to support. And what about yourself? Have you?
Yeah, well, we've had some very. I see a lot of good publicity and trying to drum up some support for the Football Foundation with that particular promotion. What a fantastic opportunity to get to a World Cup final in Qatar, or finals, beg your pardon. Some fantastic games on offer as well.
Yeah, what, Germany, Spain,
Yeah.
I think is one of them. 4 games. But we'll do our best. We won't ignore the action in front of us, but over the course of the next 12 minutes leading into half-time, we'll just remind you of that opportunity. If you have no idea what Harry and I are talking about, it's a wonderful fundraising opportunity for grassroots football led by the Football Foundation. If you buy a lottery ticket for $20, you can nominate your club. It can be any club, but you'd think it's going to be your club.
Not your golf club
to
either.
no, not
Jerry.
your golf club, your football club, to receive $10 of that 20. So it's a great fundraiser, and there are 8 opportunities to win a trip for 2 to the FIFA World Cup finals in Qatar later this year.
Footballfoundation.org.nz. Andrew, all the details are there.
Yep, and I know the draw's happening on the 1st of October because I'm hosting it. Now, that could be awkward, Harry. I've just said I've got half a dozen tickets. That could be
No
awkward.
conflict of interest there, Andrew, I'm sure.
But, yeah, just a great opportunity. Seriously, folks, if you're watching and enjoying this Women's National League match, clearly you have an interest in football. Get your ticket. Get your ticket. It really is a great chance, but a great fundraiser. Back to the action. As again, it's Cook down this right wing side. She's been a real threat. Leeming comes across in cover. Cook shows good patience. Wassey needed one more pass and almost provided it. Still here for Rovers. Was just beyond Foster. Sent back in. Foster with the header. It's still there for Rovers. They are pressing. Canham sends that towards the far post, and that's just gone wide. What a few moments here for Northern Rovers.
Foster at the far post, is it?
How do Auckland United survive that 90 seconds? That was incredible. How good was Wassey?
Where do you start with that one, Andrew? Jeepers.
Let's start with that pass.
Wassey, what a
goodness.
Just couldn't get to it. I think it was Foster in the middle of the goal mouth there. Again, was it Foster with the header? Comes back to Canham, swings that one back in, and I think it was Foster again at the far post.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did that one stay out?
Foster at the treble, and still nothing to show for it. This is a most entertaining match, though, between these very close rivals, and a bit of a slip here from Barnard. Can she get the ball back? She does. Oh, wow. This has had everything except a goal. And it's not for the lack of trying from both teams. And on that occasion, Jessie Barnard was trying a little too hard to help us get a goal. Just went to sleep a little, didn't she, with the ball at her feet?
Just the touch as well, wasn't it? And gave Wassey a sniff of that one in on goal.
It's a powerful intervention there from Chelsea Elliott. Yeah, I'll put you on the spot, Harry, in terms of the club that you might have supported. You had a couple. You had a couple in New Zealand that you might want to. Are you going to reveal who the $10 is going to? Or is that going to get you in trouble?
No, it might get in trouble.
Harry Nata, well and truly on the fence.
Foundation, Football Foundation, you know, North Shore or Bohemian. It's not Mount Wellington anymore, is it? You know, so although my son played down at Suburbs for a couple of years as well, so you know, there's multiple clubs there of choice.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to mention that as that cross eludes everyone, and Alan Blount is happy to see that go past. But Upper Hutt City and Manurewa.
Oh, you're a Manurewa boy, aren't you? That's right.
Fairly easy decisions for me. Upper Hutt City, of course, when I enjoyed a few years there, they were initially known as Tararua Rangers Football Club. It's Upper Hutt City these days, as Clegg just bustled off the ball. That was a good challenge from McIntosh. How have we not got a goal, Harry? Leeming. Johnson. That one out of play, and Leeming has the throw. It's been quite the spectacle through 40 minutes. Johnson dwelling, taking her time, but the time spent thinking did not help the accuracy of the pass. Martin. Nathan keeps it in play. Johnson. Bloomfield. They'll explore this right wing side now, will they? Elliott, the fullback who took that blow to the head from the football at close range, but she certainly looks to have bounced back and recovered. Clegg can't control. Elliott, oh dear, that's a bloopers moment, and what's the referee ruled here? Foul throw, or going to allow for the throw to be retaken?
Retake, yeah.
Of course, if it didn't actually go into the field of play, then that's okay. Nathan into midfield, inviting teammate Amy Barnard onto the ball, but couldn't maintain possession. Bloomfield now. Barnard loses possession in the challenge again. This time the throw was conceded by Elliott. And it's just a game with plenty of what we describe as ebb and flow. One moment there's been plenty of ebb for Northern Rovers, and then the flow has gone the way of Auckland United. There's just been these spells. It's not been in 20-minute patches in the game. It's almost like it's going in 7 or 8-minute patches for both teams to enjoy some dominance. Wasi, who that wonderful pass that's almost opened things up and got the first goal of the game. This might be another chance. Canham again shoots a little weakly. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, it's almost going to script that after all the great chances, it's a scuffed shot that bounces awfully for Jessie Barnard, who doesn't adjust. And the opening goal of the game goes not unexpectedly to Danielle Canham, but certainly in a most unexpected fashion.
Yeah, look, the old adage, isn't it, Dewey, you don't shoot, you don't score. And that's exactly what nice shot back onto her left foot. It was a scuff shot on target. Jessie Barnard wouldn't want to see that one again, put it that way. Unfortunate to just bobble in front of her.
I think it's really harsh on the keeper. I mean, she may have actually got into her dive too early and actually gone to ground too early. But it's one of those bobbles, Harry. It's just enough to go over the gloves. I mean, if that was a worse bobble, it saves the keeper because it's obvious. But that, to me, took just enough of a deflection on the bounce that wasn't expected, just to go over the outstretched hands. But a goal is a goal is a goal. It doesn't matter how it hits the back of the net. Or in that case, almost stopped before it hit the back of the net. And here is Barnard under more calm circumstances.
Well, the clearer of the chances have fallen to Rovers in the first half so far. And you just hope that, as we saw earlier on this afternoon and yesterday, barrage of goals in a couple of the other games in this first round. So these two teams, you know, they've battled it out. Cup final last week. It's a very, very tight game this afternoon. You're right.
Well, they got the goal they couldn't get in that cup final.
Yeah, and Rovers have actually had the upper hand on Auckland in the regional league in the regular season, beaten twice, finished top of the table, did Rovers.
Yeah, their only defeat was against Western Springs, wasn't it, during the league season? So, but, they'll think that little bit of good fortune, that it was deserved in the sense that they have dominated. Look at the run of Cook trying to get in the area. That's an absolute lung buster, isn't it? But coaches love to see that effort.
That's what you see. You love to see players backing themselves and making those sort of runs late into the box. And she's had a good game on this right-hand side, Alexis Cook, so far.
Yeah, it's been a good matchup with Emma Leeming. And this forces a corner. We're told there'll be 2 minutes of time added at the end of the 45, and we're 30 seconds away from the board going up. It's a set-piece opportunity. Haven't had too many in the match so far. This time, Chelsea Elliott there does come forward. So is she a target at the far post? Right towards the keeper, who stayed on her line and has to get off her line, drops it, and they need this to fall to an Auckland United player, and it does. Ruby Nathan battling away. Rovers come away with it. Trying to play a little 1-2 through midfield, which is not always their modus operandi. That's intercepted by Bloomfield. Oh, that's a poor pass. It's almost like she just simply didn't see Michaela Foster there. And no harm done, as Jessie Barnard will collect. And I have no doubt at all that she's still trying to banish from her mind lingering memories of the way that the goal was conceded. This would help, though, if Bree Johnson can get them back on level terms. Just over and maybe just a little wide, but it was worth a snapshot there from Bree Johnson.
Yeah, nice chance falling to Bree Johnson just on the stroke of half-time.
And credit Johnson there. She looked to get her head up and had a little look and saw the target.
Both Johnson and Millie Clegg particularly in and around the box when they've been able to get the ball and turn and be facing the goal. They're not afraid to shoot.
Rovers give it up cheaply. But Bloomfield was headed in the wrong direction to try and effect a quick counter-attack. Martin. Another chance there for Cook to get involved, but certainly her best opportunities have been when they get the ball beyond the fullbacks for Cook to chase. The skipper has the ball in her hands when the halftime whistle is blown. And it is a half of plenty of opportunities, but only one that was taken, and that was in fortuitous circumstances. Despite plenty of great efforts on goal from both teams, it is just that Danielle Canham goal that separates them at halftime. Northern Rovers have their noses in front, 1-0 over Auckland United at the break.
highlights we're going to be talking over in a minute, mate.
Lily, it's a great start to your campaign. You went out and you dominated throughout, but at half-time maybe the scorecard didn't reflect your dominance. What was the message at half-time to get the girls fired up?
Yeah, obviously we're really happy with the performance. I think the key message at half-time was we just need to keep the ball better. We were sort of holding on to it too long, passing it around and not really keeping it how we normally would. So second half it was about creating those spaces, have our midfielders dropping in and off the back of our strikers and the likes, just to really get our players running in and running at them, and I think we had a lot of success off the back of it.
Definitely. All your strikers got on the score sheet pretty much. Special shout out to Sophia Garcia getting the hat trick. What's the key to bringing them into the game?
Yeah, I think Sophie had a great game. She was creating a lot of different chances and also doing a lot of work off the ball for us as well, so awesome effort from her and really happy to see her on the score sheet. They're all amazing up there, so it's bound to happen, but I think it's just the midfielders linking up with them, making sure that they're just playing back and forth and creating those spaces.
Excellent. And what lessons will we be taking into next week against the Pride?
Yeah, I think we need to take the same intensity that we started with. We have a tendency to start a little bit slow and concede a goal before we switch on, so I think scoring the first few minutes was massive for us. We know they're going to be a great team, they're going to bring a different type of battle, so it's just making sure that we sort of stick to our game plan, keep the ball and try and dominate them in the same way.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much for your time.
Cool, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. So Rose, a tough assignment today. You jumped on the plane straight out to the ground. So Rose, a tough assignment today. You jumped on the plane straight out to the ground, conceded early, then lost a player, and you only had 3 subs. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things didn't go our way today, but full credit to Western Springs. You know, they dominated on all areas of the park, so can't really take away the win from them. They did really well.
Was it a bit of a step up from the regional comps? What do you reckon?
Definitely, and we haven't had a long pre-season either, so we're still kind of trying to get used to each other, different positions on the field, but definitely a step up, which is good for us because we need the challenge. Yeah.
What's the key to bringing and meshing your team together from the other teams? I know you got a lot of Royals players in there.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing is just more contact with each other, training more with each other. As the season goes on, you know, another round, I think we'll be a lot better, a lot more cohesive around the park. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Great to see it hasn't dampened your spirits. Good luck for next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Illich, and here's a chance, and it's the first goal. Poorly defended. Free kick just dropped into the 6-yard box. And it was Adam Mitchell who got in on the end of the cross. And after just 7 minutes, Auckland City have opened their account in the 2022 Champions League. Waiting for to actually offer some resistance. Cam Howison running out of midfield. Cam Howison, can he make it 2? Yes, he can. Simple as that. And that's the benefit of the patient build-up. Sometimes the game played at a walking pace at the back there, waiting for the long ball. And now it's an opportunity. Manicum, can he get onto it? Dylan Manicum can. And a mix-up at the back. And that opened the door for the pace of Dylan Manicum. And he is not a player to let an opportunity like that go begging. Ran the ball down, and easy as you like, just taps that one home for 3-0. Certainly fortunate there, but it was only a matter of a few seconds before the ball went into the back of the net. This time it was Mario Illich at the near post. Ball drilled in hard and low by Cam Howison. And Illich with a tidy near post header.
And it's on target, good save by the keeper, put in though. And it's a second goal for Auckland City. And it's been tipped in by Mario Illich. And wonderful corner from Howison. The keeper not able to handle it. Great pass from Tade. Oh, that's classic Emiliano Tade right there. He's got eyes in the back of his head. So they might be in trouble here. Oh, they are in trouble. How good was that from Garriga? Thanks for coming. And the lead has lasted a minute. Oh, beautiful ball. Here's a chance. And it's in. Beautifully finished. It's Garriga with a double. A cute angle finish. An excellent play there from Gerard Garriga, the Spanish born player who's been in New Zealand for 3 years, former Western Springs player. So, got Auckland City the lead, it's 2-1. Here's Illich at his best there. Here's a nice chance, and that's brilliantly done, and it's Ellis who has got the goal. What a magic move that was. Beautiful team football by the Auckland City players. And it goes to 4-1. Burner. Oh, it's gone in. It has gone in. Well, it didn't look particularly efficient there. There was no power on the shot there from Ryan DeVries, but it's been deflected in. Wow. Howison comes to Auckland City sweeping forward. Manikin. Crack on, brilliant finish. What a goal from Dylan Manikin. That was pure class from Dylan Manikin. That is showtime on a football field. Check this one out from Dylan Manikin. Superb. Numerous threats. Garriga comes through now, a bit of space here for Gerard Garriga. 1-2 again. Oh, that's full on for DeVries. He's round the keeper and tucked away, and that should be a goal. It is. Gerard Garriga has got the second for Auckland City. Gariga. Very good game. There's a lovely ball into Tane. And Emiliano Tane gets the third goal, brilliantly finished. And the ball from Gariga to him was a gem. And it's going to be another OFC Champions League to Auckland City.
Number 20, Emiliano Tane.
There he is, Cam Howison. And the Auckland City team, winners of the OFC Champions League for 2022.
Well, welcome back to Kickoff Park, and it is Northern Rovers who lead Auckland United by 1-0 at the break. These two Northern Region teams doing battle, and it is the goal of Danielle Canham that separates the two teams, and it was a goal that was a little fortuitous with just the tiniest hint of an awkward bounce over the outstretched dive of Jessie Barnard that took it into the back of the net. So Auckland United with it all to do in the second half, but they know that it's very much within their capabilities. They had plenty of opportunities, and you would think that the likes of Millie Clegg and Bree Johnson, that they'll get further opportunities in this second half. Andrew Dewhurst with you in commentary, joined by former all-white Hera Mayanata and Harry. 1-0, but certainly it's a game that we talked about it a few times in the first 45. It could have been 3-3. I mean, Auckland United have had their chances. You think they'll get more. They've just got to take them.
Yeah, look, absolutely, Andrew. It's been very entertaining first 45 minutes, wasn't it? With Northern Rovers just sneaking it inside the first 45 minutes with that goal to Danielle Canham. She's had a number of opportunities, 3 or 4 actually good ones in the first half as well. Millie Clegg, as you said, Army Barnard and Bree Johnson moving forward for Auckland United, doing well.
Almost a chance there right at the start of the second half for Barnard, almost getting on the end of a cross. It was desperate defending by Rovers, and they get it away, albeit at the expense of a corner. So an opportunity for United to try and cancel out that Canham goal very early here in the second half. Chance here, it just landed at the feet of, was it Ruby Nathan? And maybe had more time than she initially thought. And in the end, it was just a little toe poke straight at Ellen Blount. A flick on here, now a chance for Herring. Has she kept that in play? It won't matter. I think it's out for the throw. But that was a real half chance there for Auckland United from the corner.
Yeah, it was quality delivery too from that corner. More of that from Auckland United in the second half.
Rovers, can they build on that lead? As Nathan loses possession in midfield but wins the throw. Harrison plays the pass that then is relayed to Elliott. Renee Wasi has had her moments in leading this Northern Rovers attacking line. She may have been the intended target there of that pass from Herring if she got a little more elevation on that. Certainly Renee Wasi was advancing down that right wing side. We've had some high-scoring matches in the National Women's League so far this weekend. 4-1 Suburbs over Capital, 3-0 Canterbury over Central, and earlier this afternoon Western Springs 6-1 winners over Southern. And I reckon that if you check the stat sheet, this match might have the most chances of all of them.
Absolutely.
And yet just the one goal.
Yeah, it's been very tight between these two so far this afternoon. Both know each other very well. Obviously played out that Kate Shepherd Cup final last week. Auckland United took that one up 1-0. A goal from Martine Puketapu, who's not playing this afternoon.
That one bobbling out. Monai Elliott unable to control. Suya Herring with the throw. Lovely touch. Cook now with a chance to measure across, or she tried the shot and really didn't get good contact. Nathan now, a chance to set up the counter. And it would have been a handy pass. Looked to be within the vicinity there of... may well have been Clegg, was it? The target there, but just eluding her. Oh, lovely little hesitation there, creates the space, and then it's wasted because she's out of position now, Herring, so needs other players to cover. Elliott does that, and this will be a Rovers throw. So both teams playing at a pretty high pace. And sometimes decision making is the victim of that approach, but it certainly does put pressure on your opponents, and in particular that quick transition from defence to attack. It really can ask questions if there's good delivery over the back of the fullbacks.
Yeah, and I think you also could, a couple of quality individuals actually that can turn a game on a dime, the likes of Millie Clegg with her pace and her direct running against Chelsea Elliott and Greer McIntosh particularly.
Goal kick here for Jessie Barnard, and she'll be desperately hoping that that goal for Canham is not the moment in this game. Of course, she doesn't want to wish any further harm on her team, but as far as self-preservation goes, she doesn't want that to be the decider, the only goal. Here's a great ball over the top. Elliott, that fell with the breeze, and great recovery there from Blount. Just catching Chelsea Elliott out there as the wind just knocked that ball down. She almost tried to hit that at about knee height, Harry.
Yeah, just unlucky with that bounce, wasn't it? But a nice ball out midfield from Sophie Williams. Blount had to make a decision quickly to come off her line and try and get on top of that ball over the top from Williams.
Awkward one here now for United to deal with. And Barnard can't keep that in play, can she? It's gone out for a corner. So again, it is end to end from one penalty area to the other. You certainly can't argue about the entertainment level in this one. Rovers taking their time. They are the team playing from in front, of course. floating corner. And Elliott was challenging at the far post. And that just got a little awkward. Kept it in play, though. Then driving across at the near post. Bloomfield with a good block and then a good challenge. And credit the United players there. They're not just panicking and clearing the ball without any hope of a teammate being on the end of it. They are looking up, even in their own penalty area, and trying to find a target. Williams just sneaking that one away from the goal scorer, but Rovers get it back again, and another deflection. Or is that? No, it's I think the flag might have been up, but regardless, it's a goal kick, if not an offside. So, as we've described, that breeze just having an impact tactically, and maybe the adjustment might take another 5 minutes or so for players to make that adjustment, in particular with balls played like that one into the penalty area. In the first half, that was holding up and the strikers were getting on the end of them. But in the second half for Rovers, those will be picked up by the breeze and pretty much end with Barnard almost every time.
Yep, here's another one.
And we saw at the other end of the park, didn't we? It almost caught Chelsea Elliott out. But for the opposite reason, that anything United play long is just going to hold up and lose impetus. Martin asking a lot of Leeming, who was up to it.
You almost got to try and think what sort of what was said at half time from a Model Donoso perspective, trying to initiate how can they get this goal back at least, and is it more direct?
Talking direct, there's a chance for Cook being pushed wide onto that left foot though, and there's some contact there, and that was clumsy by Mania Elliott. There's no whistle on the play and no real complaints here from Alexis Cook, but gee, for a moment there, Harry, I had my heart in my mouth.
I think any time you've got, you've got a defender trying to challenge an attacker inside the box, the attacker goes down, you kind of sort of heart in your hands for that one.
No opportunity to have a second look at that, but as I say, the players weren't complaining, so perhaps it was just me getting a little panicked for no reason.
Yeah, I can tell you, the attacker is, or the striker is sort of away from facing away from goal. Here we go. Only got against the line. All she has to do. Who's it?
On another
Mania
day,
Elliott is just to let it go out. Just shoot, you don't need to really do anything because you've got your goal line as your.
Oh, great save, Blount. Just gets a touch on it. In fact, it's Barnard, of course. Great save, Jesse Barnard. That was a snapshot on the turn and was certainly goal bound. And Jesse Barnard gets good hands on that and puts it over the bar.
Yeah, nice touch inside. Barnard doing well to keep that one out.
Yeah, we did get a second look at the what I thought was a penalty shout, Harry, and there was contact between the two players, but no one seemed too concerned at ground level. Great corner swung in. It's causing a real issue. That may have come off Wasi, though. And a goal kick for Auckland United. And the first job, of course, in the second half is don't concede again. They've got to find a way of scoring, as you say, Harry, and Mauro Donoso will have had a chat about that, but you cannot let that focus on attack be at the expense of defence. They have to stay in the match.
Yeah, at some stage it's going to have to be an air of risk to take, isn't there? If you're looking to get a goal back, either it's pushing players forward, changing your formation or your tactics slightly. Well, I really do think they've got some assets up front, Millie Clegg and Bree Johnson, who can run at players. They've got the strength to get in behind defences. A bit more of a direct approach, I guess.
Well, we're going through one of those spells in the match where Rovers are dominating, and they've just really taken a bit of a stranglehold on proceedings. And we've seen Auckland United respond to these sorts of periods in the game with their own spell of dominance, albeit without a goal. But they need to respond again here. And they're at the right end of the park to do that. Chelsea Elliott sends that one into the scrub. Football will be retrieved in the background. Meantime, the players have another one to carry on with. Clegg shows to help out on the throw. Rovers clear their lines though. They've got no one sitting up high. Everyone was back defending. Stolen away here by Rene Wasi. This could be dangerous. Cook advancing in the background. The cross was headed towards Michaela Foster. It didn't quite complete its journey. They have looked dangerous at set-piece time. Chelsea Elliott comes forward, so too Greer McIntosh. Harrison to take, an in-swinger. Good delivery again, really good delivery, headed away by United. Straight back to Harrison. Sends it back into the penalty area. Again, it's cleared away, and this time to a teammate. Oh, that's not a great second clearance, but they might get lucky. And in fact, they might have a counter-attack opportunity here. And making great inroads, and the shot on goal straight at Blount. Well, that was superb from Millie Clegg, somehow weaving her way through and past a defender or two. It looked like they had plenty back, Rovers, but they couldn't stop the shot.
Yeah, great run from Millie Clegg again. That direct approach from Auckland United, certainly her strength at running at players, creating an angle. Nice shot on goal.
Rovers at the other end. Barnard stays, and it was almost a bad decision from Jessie Barnard, but her hesitation perhaps in the end was just enough to put off Estelle Harrison.
Here we see Millie Clegg's chance at the other end, just outside the box. Nice shot on target. Safe hands from Blount. And it has been a bit like that, isn't it, Andrew? Particularly in the first half, sort of seesawing. One chance at one end, and then Estelle Harrison down the other end for Rovers with an opportunity.
And again, that type of ball in the second half may not prove effective as we have another look at this chance. There, Barnard may have slipped, in fact, but she just ended up backpedaling a little. And Harrison, if anything, Harry had a little more time, didn't she? Rovers again, right wing side. Cook in the penalty area to aim at. Took too long to get the cross in though. And Auckland United clear their lines. But since the half-time break, we've had a couple of half opportunities for Auckland United, but again, it's Rovers who have been dominating territory and possession. As we're going to see a substitution. And I think it's Estelle Harrison about to make way. Is it Harry?
I think it's number 10, Estelle Harrison. I think it's Leanne Ryan that's going to be coming on here. She is number 6, I think, for Northern Rovers. Yes, it is.
throw just gets out in front of everyone there, and Michaela Foster with a little frustration with a push in the back, but the ball had already crossed the goal line. So a change also for Auckland with Georgia Martin replaced, central defender, and I wonder if that's like for like as Dodd comes on, or whether that might see a tweak in the formation as they try and have more of an effect on the match and the attacking third of the field. But I do think that they're going to get more chances, Harry. They've had plenty in the match so far. It's just a question of taking one of them. And that's not a great ball played in.
Yeah, I certainly think they've got the quality, particularly going forward, to cause the Rovers more problems at the back. I think Bloomfield's done well in the middle of the park, just holding that, playing in that number 6, that defensive midfielder role. But they really need to start, maybe even taking some risk now. What are we now, 65 minutes? A couple of substitutions made by both sides.
Well, moments like this, Harry, it's a different code, I know, but these will forever be referenced now as the Foley. A little bit of time wasting. And given that
I don't think you wasted time. 64th minute. It might be sort of 89th, 90th minute potentially, but
that's simply a desperate opportunity taken by me to get that into the commentary, because it won't surprise as a New Zealander through and through. I thought it was a great call by the referee. Anyway, we'll leave that code alone for this afternoon, because you're right, there's plenty of time left to play. And Northern Rovers will, I think, be just as keen to add to that scoreline as they will try and protect it. Certainly far too much time left to try and use the clock. And a great ball played in. Is that over the line? There's an absolute scramble here. Goodness me, set a scrum. It's knocked back in. Elliott thought about the overhead. Now they head it towards Barnard, and she accepts that with some delight, because momentarily that looked very, very questionable as to whether this crossed the line.
Well, I think the delivery from corners from both sides actually today has been top draw. Thankfully enough for Auckland United, Barnard managed to get her hands on that one on the end.
Yes, we haven't seen really aerial dominance by either keeper, as free kick is given away here by Rovers. Certainly there looked to be plenty of contact on the Auckland United player. I do love it when players first responses, but I got the ball, ref. Yeah, but hang on, you've just gone through a couple of shin pads and a couple of calf muscles, and so the free kick for Auckland, a chance perhaps to send players forward into the penalty area. The delivery's crucial. This will hold up. Put a little extra on it. Towards the keeper, Blount, who is very quick off her line to make the save, if you can call it that.
She's been very assured tonight, or this afternoon. Ellen Blount really commanding her area, seeing the danger, being assertive, getting out there, and taking some pressure off her team.
And if anything, the conditions just seeing that wind increase. Look at the flag on the halfway line. It's a great indicator. It is very much at the back of Chelsea Elliott here. She'll have to just chip this, a little less on it. That's not bad into the area. Turns it into a 50-50 challenge. Well played by Michaela Foster, controlling under pressure. Barnard comes, doesn't collect. Chance here now for Rovers. Almost an open goal to aim at. And she fluffed her lines at the wrong moment, Leanna Ryan. Barnard perhaps had already scrambled back in goal, but nonetheless it was a great opportunity for Rovers to make it 2. Bloomfield. Can she spring a counter-attack here? Possession with United. Oh, just off the heels of Nathan. Oh, what a strike! And they have got an equalizer. And that is a wonderful snapshot. Really didn't appear to have a lot of time or indeed a lot of room. But a wonderful strike on goal. And they do have the equalizer. And it's Millie Clegg. And she's been threatening on so many occasions, Harry. And that was quality, instinctive.
Well, you just think, great ball too. You must think that players got in her way, didn't it? Number 20 there, but fantastic strike from Millie Clegg. She has looked threatening all afternoon. It's probably been the biggest threat to Rovers at the back. Her direct approach, the way she can run up players. This is probably the second or third time she's checked in on the right-hand side, and on that occasion found the back of the net.
So we do have another goal, and the match is level. And let's see if that changes momentum, because to be fair, Rovers had the momentum on their side, it seemed, so far in the second half. But United, they just gave Clegg far too much time, didn't they? I thought they had plenty there to close her down, and Rovers were guilty there of just backpedaling.
Yeah, they've been guilty at a number of occasions this afternoon. Rovers have just been, I think the gaps between, defence and midfield has just been too big, and the likes of those players that, like Bree Johnson, we talked about Millie Clegg, can more direct approach to their game, can really exploit those gaps.
One out over the sideline. So that puts a different complexion on the closing 20 minutes of this one, given that 1-1, both teams have the hint of 3 points, sniff of victory, as a great little run here by Amy Barnard, and then just, well, she ran out of puff.
Yeah.
Herring comes away with it, and it's not ideal for a fullback to run into midfielders on the halfway line, because if you lose possession, you've left a big gap behind you. Doesn't pay a price though, as Rovers maintain the ball and cause a few issues with that ball played into the penalty area. Shot from distance into the gloves of Jessie Barnard. Well, she's got her wish so far. They've got one more critical moment in the game that removes a little of the pressure on that concession of the goal. But she'll be urging her outfield teammates on to even better results. One more and wipe it completely. Bloomfield, she's strong.
Yeah, she's just been tenacious in the middle of the park for Auckland this afternoon. Here she is again.
It's a good challenge. There's a few on the sideline that don't like it, but
she's physically strong. Her distribution's been pretty solid out of that sort of defensive midfield role.
Johnson swings it in. Blount again. Just been very confident at coming out to take those crosses on the bounce. Neither keeper's been that comfortable aerially in terms of plucking crosses out of the air, but if they're bouncing, if they're a 50-50, Blount, we saw in the first half how brave she is, but she's very alert. Elliott couldn't keep it in play. And certainly now with 17 minutes to play, substitutions can play a big part as Rovers are making another change, and it's Rene Wasi who leaves just out of camera shot and replaced by the English woman Shannon Henson. So again, we'll see if that's a straight switch, like for like, or whether there's a shift in formation or personnel. Canham, the goal scorer for Rovers, could have had a hat-trick in the opening 20 minutes and arguably scored the least likely chance that she had. Great running back, great tracking there by Amy Barnard. You talk about midfielders making gut-busting runs forward. You love also to see strikers getting back and helping midfielders and defenders. And Barnard showed great commitment. One over the top now for Ryan to chase, and it's another challenge. Was it needed, Harry?
There's Manai Elliott again, doesn't it? That was that when we saw about 10 minutes ago, wasn't it, with Alexis Cook in the box? She, bit of a nudge in that one. Then she just really tenacious and aggressive in that tackle.
Corner swung in, eludes everyone. Green chasing, and her efforts are rewarded with a throw. And that attempted cross out again, caught by that breeze, and Jessie Barnard can reset with the goal kick. So we enter the final 15 minutes of this one. The two Northern Region combatants can't be separated, and there have been so many opportunities, and both teams have had their chances to add to their one goal apiece that they have scored so far this afternoon. But it was a close Kate Shepherd Cup final a week ago. This one is proving even closer. United scored the only goal in that final, but we're on level terms here. Williams, the pass knocking Johnson off her feet, just lost her balance, and so too Bloomfield, but she still comes away with possession. I'm not sure what Rovers are sort of arguing about there. Everything was fair and legal there. She's just so strong, even off her feet. Oh, what a run. Oh, Elliott just clattering them. Bit of 10-pin bowling. Line them up and knock them down.
She's still going at it. Look, here she goes again. Manai Elliott. Great endeavour.
Look at this. Boom, boom.
And then she gets up and chases. Yeah. She's had a good game, Manai Elliott.
Wholehearted. Nathan got a little caught between perhaps thinking of a shot or a pass, and harmlessly through to Blount. That one through to Barnard. United, they do appear to have just weathered another little storm. Rovers had that spell. They dominated the and that might be too strong a phrase, as Clegg is in here, maybe had more time to try and get a head up and find Barnard, but Rovers certainly had the better of the opening 20 minutes of the second half, but Auckland United, whether they're buoyed by the goal,
Since the goal,
they've come back again.
Yeah, you can certainly see their energy is improved. Their intensity and their endeavour in getting forward, basically picking up all the second phase ball at the moment.
And she's been the one that Rovers have at times found it difficult to get past, and that's Alossi Bloomfield. And she was bypassed on that occasion. Look at that wind having an impact to Ryan, but Elliott, look out. Ryan now with a chance, just gone a little wide with her first touch. Cuts back on the right foot and then was looking at goal. And she does force the corner, does the substitute, Leanna Ryan. You would expect that Barnard will come under some pressure here again. Look for an in-swinger perhaps. It'll start out towards the edge of the 6-yard box and just let it float back in on the wind. Out towards the penalty spot, in fact. Barnard has to tip it over the crossbar, so she was under pressure. It wasn't, though, from the initial delivery. That was a handy header on goal.
Yeah, she did well there, Barnard, just to thwart that one over behind her, over the bar. Not taking any risks with trying to catch that one.
Greer McIntosh it was, and the second corner is dealt with comfortably enough by Auckland United. Into the final 10 minutes. And makes a coach a little nervy on the sideline, I'm sure, when there is so little time left in the match. If players are under pressure in the defensive third. Bloomfield again.
Yeah.
50-50s, they're like 75-25s for her. She just immediately turns them in her favour, but the pass is not accurate on that occasion. Suya Herring allowed to go a long way. Needed a good deal more power on the shot. And I wonder if tiredness starting to have an effect here. We talk about the cup final last week. Just noticeable that Auckland United are more often than not, they're just asking Jessie Barnard to clear with the longer kick and into the breeze. It's not always the best idea. Cook again, off on a run. She's covered some metres this afternoon. Good pass to edge of the penalty area. It just didn't fall, did it, for Michaela Foster? Auckland United looking for space now down this right wing side. Elliott sends it long. It's sent straight back with some interest. Barnard this time does set up the attack with a pass on the deck to Jenna Dodd. Who wins this in the closing moments? If someone does win it, is it on the back of something special, or is it the result of a mistake?
Well, both sets of players are physically looking, they've run 80 odd minutes, 90 minutes, they're all looking fairly fatigued actually.
And that does bring the mistake into the equation, doesn't it? because tired bodies lead to tired minds, lead to mistakes in football.
It's going to be who can capitalise on a mistake at the moment, because I think the way the game is sort of flowing at the moment, 7-8 minutes to go, a lot of tired legs out there.
Couple of changes. So
maybe it's one of the substitutions or fresh legs on.
Yeah, and I think Ben Bates recognised that because a couple of changes being made. Kate McConnell is coming on for Breeze Durham, and it looks also like Kelly Brown is on for Alexis Cook. And in both cases, those players have put in a great shift, and they've played their part in a really entertaining and committed performance for Northern Rovers, and likewise Auckland United. There's barely a player that needs to have any concern at all about their commitment and performance in this match. United trying to pass their way out of a defensive situation. That's the danger. You've just got to be alert. You've got to react quicker. You cannot allow a fullback to sneak in front of you. Herring. Oh, goodness. Tried the cross. Barnard didn't deal with it. Does she collect the player? There's so many questions there, and the answer's quite simple. None of it happened. It's a goal kick.
It's a goal kick. It just looked like Barnard had great ball by Herring, wasn't it?
Well, in the end,
Leanne Wright, Shannon Henson.
Henson was lurking there, and Barnard just got herself lost in terms of where the ball was, and maybe where she was. I think she was concerned about where the post was, and she just batted the ball away. No harm done though. Canham. Foster.
Nice
Gets
ball.
across in somehow. Oh my goodness me, Henson should have scored. Well, perhaps she was amazed at Foster's ability to squeeze the cross in from such a tight situation.
Yeah, that was the moment, wasn't it? Great bit of skill by Foster. Just wriggled and found enough room. And Henson knows it, doesn't she? That one should have been in the back of the net.
Just a redirect on target, and surely the goal was the end result. Foul given away by Clegg, who immediately owned up to the fact. Northern Rovers with some urgency still. Played over the top, and again, everything. It's like you're playing downhill.
Everything just rolls into Barnard.
Oh, lovely.
Nice from Elliott, wasn't it?
She's been impressive. Just dwelled a little perhaps too long after having beaten her opponent. But she's a whole-hearted player. Not one I necessarily know a great deal about, Harry. Many of these players are new to me in commentary, but she looks to be a young player with an exciting future. A little bit raw at times, but you can't fault the energy, can you?
The effort, can you?
Bloomfield. Great pass. It's only a 3 or 4 metre pass, but
I think the way she receives the ball, it's always looking to pass the ball forward. You know, using her body, getting her body into position, protecting the ball.
It really is a beautifully simple game, so often overcomplicated by footballers.
It's generally the way it goes, isn't it? We all try to be too intricate or try and take an extra touch, or otherwise it's just a simple execution.
Well, a lot of coaches either go grey or don't have a lot of hair left. Couple of minutes left to play, plus any stoppage time to be added. This has been a really nothing too controversial. There's not been any moments where either side feel like they might have been robbed or harshly dealt to. It's just been, perhaps in summary, a game of many chances and few that have been taken. Is there one more twist in the tail? Foster just...
yeah, just that first touch, wasn't it? From
and again, tiredness, I think.
Michaela Foster.
So there's a player down just out of our camera shot, but play continues back in the Northern Rovers half, and the Auckland United players now are just signalling that that's the case. And it's Bree Johnson who's down and clutching at the shoulder, and she looks to be in a fair degree of discomfort here. Harry, I don't know whether you ever did a shoulder. I
never did a shoulder, mate.
Dislocated a shoulder about 4 times, and whether it's the proximity to the central nervous system, I don't know, but it always seemed to amplify. It seemed to be one of the more painful injuries.
Jeez.
And it's occurred well off the ball with Bree Johnson.
Isn't it?
And let's hope that it's nothing as serious, but I'm not sure what else it could be. Certainly the right shoulder causing real concern here as we look at the live table, and it's Western Springs, courtesy of that 6-1 win over Southern, who will sit atop of the table and a head-on goal difference from Eastern Suburbs and Canterbury United. Of course, a late goal for either side here, and they would join them on 3 points, but certainly not with the same goal difference. So Issy Duran is getting a late call up here. So we've got 4 minutes of time to be added on, but that might well extend to 5 or 6. Because I think that injury may have occurred after the decision was made that 4 minutes would be added. But let's hope that Bree Johnson is not too serious.
Well, 4 minutes for someone to grab a winner.
Able to recover. Yep. It's make or break time now, isn't it? Shadows certainly looming rather large now across Keith Hay Park in the late afternoon. The temperature is dropping as a consequence as well. Not the ideal time, is it, for a sub that might not have been thinking they were going to get on the park. You have to get up off the bench in reasonably cold conditions now and be ready to go for 3 or 4 minutes. One off Leeming for a Rovers throw, so they're advancing in the right direction as far as they're concerned. Oh, it's a great run and a great ball. Is this the chance? Herring, good goalkeeping. Barnard, it just never quite held up enough there for Suya Herring, and Barnard just gets there in time.
Again, both keepers have been really quite decisive when they've made a decision to come off their line and close a ball down, or spread your body on, as we saw we saw Blunt do in the first half.
Certainly we talk about the physical ability of players to go the distance. Suya Herring's impressed me, Harry. She's never looked like
she has had a
slowing
good game
down. And that was evidence of it. In the 92nd minute, she was prepared to make that run, the fullback, and get into the penalty area. Good composure shown here by Elliott, but then giving it away cheaply. Auckland United go very direct straight away. Elliott playing in midfield now, the centre back, so she's pushed forward. And unable to keep that one in play was Kelly Brown. So into the final minute, maybe we could go another 60 seconds. But fast running out of time for either side to find a late winner. McIntosh across to one of the players that has just adjusted, Talisha Green playing at centre back. Started the match at full back. McIntosh advances. And guess who she couldn't get past?
Yeah. Lossie
Bloomfield just timing the tackle superbly. Here they come again though, Rovers. Is there one last chance? Throw in for the visitors.
There's been some good performances from both sides, isn't there, Andrew? And we talked about sort of Mania Elliott on the right-hand side for Auckland, Bloomfield in the middle of the park.
Ryan into the area. Gee, that was an opportunity for Brown. Maybe he had time, but there is the final whistle. These two fierce Auckland Northern Region rivals can't be separated. It was a goal to Danielle Canham in the 42nd minute, one that just bobbled unfortunately for Jessie Barnard over her outstretched hands while she was diving to make the save. But Clegg with the equaliser. And Millie Clegg scoring in the 69th minute. And despite numerous chances for both sides, that was the summary of the scoring in this one. Auckland United 1, Northern Rovers 1. So hard to argue as we have a look at some of the highlights. This was a chance for Nathan that came back off the post and into the hands of Blount. So that was just centimetres away. This was a spell of play, wasn't it, Harry, where Michaela Foster was involved 2 or 3 times and Northern Rovers just peppering Auckland.
That's right. This is unfortunate for Foster arriving late at the far post there. Just couldn't direct that one onto goal.
Canham, that's the goal. And that was innocuous, wasn't it? It was, as I say, probably the least obvious of the chances that she had. She just scuffed the shot and it just took a bounce.
She did so well. She continued, ran the whole game, did Danielle Cannon. And this was the goal from Millie Clegg. Nice play, build-up play out of the middle of the park.
Got to get closer.
Approach.
Rovers got to get closer in defending that one, and they paid the ultimate price. Millie Clegg equalised.